Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Past The Barb. Today is Monday, February 27th, and I guess the first order of business is we apologize. We finally missed a week. It took us 3-ish months. Schedules just didn't really align. Conclusion of the Crappie Chronicles, but we try not to miss every week, but last week we missed. But we are back. I am joined by our man over in Wisconsin, Mr. Cody Hahner.
Hello. Hello.
You guys are just getting ravaged by an ice storm right now, aren't you?
It's pretty gnarly right now. It's really gnarly. Like this morning I woke up, I'm like, it's probably just the back roads that I live on, whatever, and then get out to the highway. I'm cruising like 60 and just started fishtailing and I had to go like 20 to work on the highway. It was nuts.
Yeah, that's no fun. Um, yeah, it was raining here all day. So like I stepped out and I was unloading my truck from a weekend of fishing and like I'd take a few steps and like it was fine, but then I'd take like one step and like all of a sudden I slid like 6 feet and I'm like, oh my God.
Not good.
No, not good. And then joined on the bottom, plenty of leg room right now, Mr. Ryan Pinkalla.
What's going on, boys? I'm feeling a little shitty right now because I totally wiped out in Griff's driveway last night before I drove back to my house. and I'm feeling it today, dude.
You did wipe out. It was slick when we were unloading some stuff.
Yeah, I was actually walking down to like leave, and Griff was saying the words, like drive safe or whatever. And he got about halfway through it, and I just absolutely lost it. Dumped it right in the middle of the driveway, yard sailed it.
Dude, that's the
Rocked my
worst,
world.
especially when you feel it the next day too. You're like, oh yeah, I did hit as hard as I thought I did.
Oh yeah, dude, full shoulder impact. Good deal.
Awful. But okay, so yeah, we've been gone for 2 weeks, so we got a little bit of stuff to catch up on. So I think first thing we're gonna do, number one, is just what's been going on. So some current events. Cody, what do you got going on current event wise, whether it's fishing or not?
Well,
We might be able to do a couple circles of this based off of just checking in with guys.
yeah. Lately it's just I haven't been hardly fishing at all. Just been working a whole bunch, but I have hit my limit of winter. It has now become just like scouring the internet for some little lake in northern Wisconsin I've never seen before, and I keep doing the lap and the rotation, and then I realize, oh yeah, I've looked at every single one of these probably 5 times now. I can't find anything more.
No, I
But we
feel
try.
Yeah, you try your best. You guys, you got to be pretty close though. Like the Fox has got to be almost open, right?
Yeah, there is guys, people I know who were out. I want to say it was last week. Whenever we got that warm spell, where it was like upper 30s or whatever. My buddy went out and he said the fishing was actually awesome, but I mean they caught like 60 walleyes in. But I mean, pretty typical. You get a warm snap in February. The fish that are there bite really well, and then once this cold sets in again, it kind of dies off a little bit.
Yeah, no, typical. I've seen people catching some down on pool 4 too, but any moment now basically is when that's going to break open.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have very good, like we have plenty of ice and it's fine right now, but like when you're looking at it in the grand scheme of a winter, it's going to be gone pretty quick. Like it's just it's not holding on well. It's pretty soft. There's not hard ice really,
That's what I like to hear.
But we're still at the point where it's like you got to drill down to the extension on your auger just to get to the water.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
it doesn't make it feel like it's happening anytime soon.
True that. But it did rain today. But that more of just packed down the 20 inches of snow we got last week.
Yeah,
it should make a nice crust.
Yeah, exactly. Pink, what do you got going on current event wise?
Well, I mean, we kind of wrapped the Chronicles this week, so that was kind of exciting and everything like that. Just kind of getting the finale out there was cool. I have been doing a little bit of fishing, so that's cool. I was out not that long ago targeting some sheep's head, and we blasted them. Absolutely blasted them.
Dude, Hahner, you would love this. So everyone's seen the episode now since it's out. But when we got home from Maine, we went out to this lake And we knew there were giant crappies in it, but we were just looking for these giant crappies. And all of a sudden on live, like I knew there was drum in there because it was kind of down around my area. And I was like, I know there's drum in here. And Waldo caught one and I was like, oh, cool. And we kind of looked around a bit. And all of a sudden on live, we were like, holy shit, all these big fish were chasing our drum. These aren't the crappies. Like, these aren't the crappies. So then we like finished the episode and Griff caught like, a giant one. Like we caught a couple drum, but then we caught a few big crappies.
Mhm.
Well, then like we're walking off and I saw Pink's eyes like light up and he's like, do you think you could like target these things?
Oh
And I
my-
was like,
okay.
I don't know.
So we caught a few like during that episode when we were crappie fishing or whatever. But I have been infatuated with these fish for a while just because I've kept them from other places and I really thought they were pretty good.
Mhm.
And like this lake we were on was like not big. And there was like a lot of them there. And I was like, oh my God. So, and it just seemed like we already kind of had them found. So I was like, this could be a good opportunity to like try this because I don't know how to like catch them through the ice or whatever.
Yeah.
So we went back the next weekend. I went with another buddy and Griff came with, and we kind of were just like messing around. And we caught like 4 or 5. We were like, oh, that was pretty. And they were like good size, like 4 to 6 pounders, like pretty good ones.
Yeah.
And we were like, that was cool. But then we ended up getting into the crappies really good. So we got distracted and we really didn't mess with it too much. We're like, okay. And it was kind of a grinder day because we were trying to do that. And we're chasing them around with Mega Live, right? But I was like, I kind of got to where I was like, dude, I know what these look like. Like, I know when I'm looking at drum on live, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know what they look like now. So a couple weeks go by and I'm like, we're going back. Like, so I lined it up with one of my other buddies and my dad. And I was like, you guys want to go do this? And they were like, yeah. And I was kind of like hyped because I'm like, we're going to murk these things. Like, I know we're going to find them. And Griff had said that he actually was out there a different day and he had seen a group that was like a few hundred fish, like all together in one area. So I was like, if I find, I was like, if I find this, like it's going down. So I went out there and it was weird because they were super skittish that day. Like you could see them and you try to drill a hole anywhere near them and the whole school just explode.
Yeah, like Pink, you were saying the funniest part of that day was Griff finds this 100 to 200 fish school and Pink finds him on live and he's like, here we go, baby. Lines up his dad DeMarkey on live. They walk over and drill on it and it's just pew gone.
Well, and they were like on the edge too. So I'm like sitting and I got the thing set out to like 70 feet, right? I'm looking at them. I'm like, oh my God, there's like from 20 to off the screen is just solid school drum.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, we're going to blast these things. And we drilled in the middle of the school and they just vaporized. And I was like, what the fuck?
He was like the best thing he told me. He's just like, I never found him again all day.
No, it was a school of like several hundred and I never saw him again. And so I was like, okay, well, that sucks. So then we spent the next like couple hours just like hunting. And we're like, there's two. Like you couldn't get anywhere near them.
Yeah.
And eventually we get in this area where it was like you could look around and they were just kind of crawling around the bottom, just little 2 here, 3 there kind of thing. And we're like, we just got to just try to set up. So we just drilled out this area and we're like, all right, I hope they come back kind of thing, you know? So we just posted up. And we proceed to beat their brains. And it was like, if you marked one, it was done deal. If you marked it, it was going down.
They're biting.
Yeah. And, you know, we're catching them on, I'm catching them on like a little schoolie rod, like 3-pound line, like an 18-inch rod with like a little, you know, 1-to-1 reel or whatever. So they're taking like sick runs because these fish are all like, you know, in that 6-pound range. And we were knifing them all. So we came back with like a sled full of these drum and I was pretty hyped about it. So spent some time cleaning those, but I've been eating them and they're really good. So I don't know if anyone wants to mess with it. The drummer's snapping.
Meat season, baby. Need to get a meat season video on how to cook drum.
But they're really good. I mean, like I know people talk shit about them all the time because they're not that cool of a fish or whatever, but they fight hard and they taste off because they don't have like weird bones or anything either. Like people are, you know, don't want to keep like carp and stuff because they got like jacked up bones. But like the drum are pretty much the same as everything else. Like when you clean them, so
like easy fillet, rib cage, and that's about it.
Yeah, and they got, you know, that little line of pin bones like everything else has, like walleyes and crappies and stuff. You just like slice that out and good to go.
No, that's sick. Man, for me, I guess a few different things going on. Number one, I know Hahner, you're probably pretty used to this, like having fished down south and stuff for the Opens and Toyotas and FLW Tour.
Mhm.
But dude, I freaking so we just finished the Chronicles, and I'm like, oh, ice fishing done. Get a little bit of a break here,
Yeah.
whatever. And I look at my calendar. I pick up my boat tomorrow, and
and
I'm like,
You're
oh. Yeah, that's right. I have to update my wrap. So I'm like picking up my boat, and then I'm like looking at the calendar. I'm like, well, when do I go down to Grant? And I'm like, oh, fuck. I have to have my rods rigged by next week, Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Do you
I
even
haven't
have
done
your
that.
rods yet?
Yeah, no, they're in my basement. All the lines
okay.
showed up like 2 days ago. So that's good. But like, I literally was like, oh, shit. Like,
Yeah. It's amazing how fast it sneaks up on you. You're like, I got 3 months.
Yeah.
I got a week and a half. But
Yeah. And mix in
You
like
just-
3 or 4 photo shoots, having to edit a few videos. And I'm like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have put this off this far.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know you're going to start the year with Walmart bags in your boat compartments.
Yeah,
might as well
exactly.
end it.
Well,
Just get
no,
her going.
honestly, the best part is since I moved back in October, when I moved out of where I'd been living for 3 or 4 years, Alyssa had helped me like organize everything. So, because like it was a disaster from the summer and all that. So before I moved, it was like, okay, here's all these big bins, tubs, everything. It got organized and like labeled correctly. So now since I moved back home, it's all in my parents' garage, and like it's
So you made your girlfriend do all your tackle?
no, she loves label makers.
Now he's backpedaling like, no.
No, she loves
She
label
offered
makers.
to help.
Absolutely did not offer. I just kind of looked at her and was like, "Can you just type this stuff down, please?"
Oh boy.
So yeah,
she loves tying FGs.
yeah. Let me tell you what.
Loves
Let me tell you what. I could grab her and she could tell you her hatred of Senkos pretty quickly.
Oh my
But yeah,
God.
so it's all organized pretty good. So I don't think it'll take that long to actually load up. But the bigger thing is like, I'm just trying to figure out my week. So like Cody, you know how it is when you're like got to go south and everything. Like, I just need to have like 2 days where I sit down and like I didn't really get to watch the last 2 events very much on
Yeah.
live. And yeah, she just poked her head down here, looked at me, and went, "Fuck Zinkos." And but I just need like 2 days of watching like old grand events or just whatever, just to get your brain
to get
on
you
the just
like
okay,
hyped up.
pre-spawn, like
Right.
they do this, like just not like it's not a crappie, like because
Right.
basically right now I would go down there, look at my live, and be like, well, that doesn't look right, and then I'll find like a rogue crappie school and be like, there they are.
Yeah.
And then halfway
So
through
they're
the day-
not in the basin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
we might be in trouble, boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna be screwed. I don't know how to look at a lake map. The only thing I know how to do is look at a hole and be like, oh, there
Oh
they
my
are.
God. So how many days before the event do you go down?
Well, I gotta figure that out because I got a 3 or 4 day photo shoot. Kind of it runs right into practice technically, but I'm just gonna talk with kind of the company and figure out like, hey, I would really like to, it's kind of flexible on how long I'm there as long as I shoot everything pretty quickly. So I'm going to try to have everything shot by Friday night so then I can drive back to my place, hook up the boat. I'll have everything packed already, drive down Saturday. Luckily, Grand's only like a 10, 11-hour drive.
Yeah,
It's not very far.
Too bad.
It's very easy. And especially like my parents, New Prague is like 10 miles from 35. So
Mhm.
basically all I do is hop on 35W, hit the 73 cruise control, and I don't stop for 10 hours other than for gas. Like you just drive
Yeah.
straight south.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to get down there Saturday night, and then I'll practice Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then a half day Wednesday, I believe you get for the Toyotas. But I just want to get down there Sunday because I know Sunday I'm not going to practice very efficiently. It's more of going to be like me driving my boat around and being like, oh, that's what that feels like. Cast like 6 times.
Remembering how to
break
cast.
Yeah. Being like, why won't my waypoint work? Like,
Yeah.
stuff like that you just forget. But it's got me kind of getting excited. Like, I'm excited for it. I'm honestly just terrified of all the work that's going to go into it more than anything. Like packing. But yeah, like once I start watching the videos and everything, I'll be pretty pumped up. I'm excited to get back after it again, especially since I didn't really get I didn't get an open water fish really from the end of August on last year. It's been a while.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing because I would go home if it was the summertime and I'd just start muskie fishing. I wouldn't even touch a bass rod again until the next event. And just like retuning your brain. Yeah, you're fishing for like the predator fish, but the timing of things and like just getting in the rhythm of bass fishing and getting in the flow of like different rods and stuff, it takes a minute. It really does. It's like you're reworking your brain. You're rewiring your brain.
Yeah, I'm really freaking excited for that week of relearning to be on Grand with 10,000 cables.
Yeah, the casting mechanics from dropping to actually roll casting could be an interesting. That's always fun.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. Rip my wallet.
Oh, another jig gone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Weird. There's an
Yeah.
Alabama rig.
Yep.
Luckily, I got like 90 of them left from us filming Chasing Ghosts. So I'm just gonna grab the ones I don't really like for practice, and I'll rub them on a chain and be like, "Well,
whatever.
what are you gonna do?
You gonna go get it? No.
Just leave it, man.
Yeah, put on
left.
12-pound fluoro in practice just to rip them off quicker. Why are you running 12? So I can break it off quicker when I snag.
Look at how big that lane is. It's maybe a couple inches on either side of the boat. I am not even trying. Absolutely not even trying.
Dude, I'm gonna look at my co-angler like the first 2 days. Like you're on a lake that's just perennial. Skip a brown jig behind a dock. I'm gonna look at my co and be like, "Here's the deal, man. You're gonna get a mop up today because your boy's got no accuracy currently. If it ain't a bowling alley wide, I am screwed."
We're just going for the slips with high ceilings over the top.
My co-is gonna be like, "This guy's the best. He's leaving me all the perfect spots," and I'm like, "I know, right?"
Yeah, I know. I'm a great boater.
He's just trolling motoring right up to the slip and just plunking her in there, backing off.
Got a like 10-foot rod.
It's
like little crappie noodling deal up there.
Nope.
Oh my god. Yeah, that should be a humbling one, dude. That first week's gonna be brutal.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be rough, but I am excited to go to Grand specifically because like my last open where like it was the end of my first stretch in the opens, just getting my ass kicked and swung a blade on the last tournament day of the season. So like getting to kick it off with going back nationally, like going there, it's like, all right, let's just rub the salt off that one quick and like just kind of restart it. So I'm excited. And Grand in the spring it can be ridiculously fun if you're in the right spot at the right time. So
yeah. What's the date of that one?
I think it's like March 18th, I think.
March 18th.
And check. Yeah. Yeah, it's like 17th, 18th, something like that. 16th, 17th, 18th. Mid-March.
If you get some good water clarity, I mean, where it's not 90% of the lake is like this much visibility. I mean, it should be fun. Should be good time.
Yeah, I'm excited. Should be a good one. But yeah, I'm excited to go south. But that's mainly what's been going on for me, other than just finishing the Chronicles. I mean, glad it's done. Another year done. A lot of fun, a lot of growth this year. I was gonna say like current events for Pink. Pink is now just like the biggest cookbook author in the world. All my whole social media feed is just that book and someone with Alfredo.
Right? No, there's been like a crazy amount of people posting with that stuff. It's nuts. It's pretty cool to see though. Like you do it. Damn. Like some guy posted a video today that came to our meetup at the brewery thing. I think you've seen that, Bart, right?
Yeah. I saw it.
Yeah, like that was badass. Like just to see people like, I mean, I met him at the event, right? But I don't know. Never.
Yeah. Like he found your book.
Well, he literally posted a video that just like about being hyped that he like came and met us and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Out on me, like it was sick. But no, like yeah, meeting people through that. I'm getting tons and tons of messages of people that like made them. I've been doing some giveaways for people that have been like posting pictures.
We just lost Pink. And he's back. Maybe.
No, me.
Nope, not quite. He's getting there. But yeah, there's been pictures everywhere. I would go to say I think the most popular recipes I've seen so far have been the chicken wings. The Alfredo's been fairly popular, and Pink, the lobster rolls.
That one's been really good. And for whatever reason, like the past week, people have been just going crazy on those wonton cup things. I've been seeing
those
them
wonton
everywhere.
cups were really good too.
Yeah, but no, it's been really cool. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. I mean, hopefully they just keep selling or whatever. But I felt like we timed it good, which is super cool. Like you kind of want when you do something like that to have it work out, kind of right off the go. But so far so good. So I'm hyped on it, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know, but I'm doing.
Thought he changed his Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no, we lost him again. It's been way worse this time. He's coming back. But anyways, so we will get him back soon. But we need to do some cleanup. We never got to preview fantasy for Seminole, and we never got to talk about Okeechobee, the elite event. So we're not going to spend too much time on it. We're going to wrap it up and move through each event. We'll see if Hahner wants to tell a story about his time down at Seminole or not. But
well, first of all, let's talk about where before we go down that road.
How much time you got, buddy?
we need 1,000 downloads on a video, and Hahner will
and
tell.
then I don't even want to give the top. Well,
this one stands the test of time, so it doesn't have to be right now.
Yeah.
No, it does. It does. It does. But Hahner, you got to give people a 3 view. We need 3 words, 3-word description of this story to try to get people hyped to spread the podcast around so that you'll tell it.
Can I do it in letters? FSU.
That'll work. That'll work.
That'll work.
That'll work. Yeah. Perfect. Moving on.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna add one more word, and I was like, I'm not gonna leave him out there.
That's too obvious. Well,
no, I wasn't gonna say that. But anyways, yes, people spread it around. It's a fantastic story. You all laugh. But okay, so Okeechobee cleanup.
Yeah. Wait, let's just go. So where are we at with the rankings here?
Okay, we also need to figure out another thing about that. So this is great. We never have team meetings outside of the podcast. So here's what another thing I was going to bring.
We're having one right now.
Yeah, we're having a team meetings. You're listening to a team meeting live. Welcome. So we could just go by the overall points, but here's the thing. People get out of it very quickly if you have a few really bad weeks. The way I've always done it in fantasy groups, and I think it works well, is if you do like golf scoring almost. So basically it's like within us 4, if you take first 1 week, you get 1 point. You take second, you get 2. Third, you get 3. Fourth, you get 4. By the end of the year, you want the least amount of points. But it gives you a chance to catch up where you're not behind by 500 or
I say we do that.
1,000 points.
Let's do that. Because the way the points work for this is kind of weird anyway.
Yeah, like there's a big overall and everything. The points are a little weird, but I think we should do that. But if you haven't joined our fantasy group, you should. I will. I'm gonna have to get the update for the next Elite Series event. I'll give an update on scoring then. I don't have it on me, but
even if you've missed the ones that have already happened, still join in. It's still fun, and you can still pick your rosters for the upcoming tournaments. So just go on Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing and join the Past The Barb group. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, for sure. But okay, Okeechobee cleanup. Cody, you got any notable things from there? I have one that I could lead off with that I really wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on.
You can lead it.
Go for it.
I was just
probably what I was going to say too.
It might be, but I was just really like bass fishing has come a long ways in the last however many years with live coverage and everything, and I just can't believe how bad some like whole stalkers and just locals like how fucking like rude and terrible they can be. Like the people who just showed up on Steve Kennedy's spot the last morning and just were like, well, I'm a guide, I have to get my pay. It's like, dude, he's trying to get 100K. You can go there Monday. Like, he'd been left alone the whole week, and they all show up. And you don't know if Steve Kennedy wins that tournament without it, right? Tyler Rivette was doing something wild and different, but like, come on, like that was
Yeah.
on
it was-
live cameras. That
it
wasn't
was
even
bad.
a TV show later. That was on live cameras.
Right.
Well, and I think that goes back to the whole thing where people are like, "Oh, well, the pros shouldn't get special treatment," but it's like they're not asking for it. They're just asking for you not to just blow their shit up,
Right.
like while they're doing it.
It's the only professional sport in the world where the fans and general public can participate on the same battlefield or playground that anyone else can, and can actually manipulate the results. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's an unspoken word that you shouldn't do it, but holy shit, some people down south just are ruthless. It's unbelievable. And I've heard Okeechobee's been bad for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
I'm sure,
horrible.
Cody, you've had experience there on it, but like, it's just like, oh my God, guys, like how can't we do better than that?
Well, and I think a lot of that comes from like not that long ago, there was kind of this misconception that like all these guys that were in the tournaments were like colossal douchebags and just felt like they should get everything. Like, everyone should just get out of their way kind of thing. But that's not really the case anymore. I mean, yeah, there was probably a period of time where that was fairly accurate, but you don't see that anymore.
No. Yeah. So that was one thing from the event that really hit me. We've seen some weird stuff on like TV shows or live things before. That was the first, like, I thought really egregious, like, what is going on type of deals we've really seen.
I mean, here's the thing. And Florida, I guess maybe I've been immune to it, or just seeing it so often where you just kind of like just put your head down and just forget about everything else that's going on. But some of those Florida lakes, especially Okeechobee, I mean, when they say you're not fishing around people and you're not around fish, you are not around fish. There's not more than 5 to 10 boats or like next to you, you are not on them, not even in the slightest. But I would think, like, especially when guys not even in the tournament are fishing, like, I mean, and the camera makes it look farther away than it is, probably 10 yards away from Steve Kennedy, like power pulled down. I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
pretty bad.
There were even shots of people literally just like driving right through the flat that he was fishing. Like literally the clump of pads he was throwing a frog through.
Yeah.
They're like just driving through it.
Yeah.
Right in front of them.
Yeah, and there's guys chucking bobbers with shiners around.
Oh,
like, come on. And that's popular out there for guiding, but it's like, oh my God, you're going to do this? This guy's trying to get a paycheck? Like,
well, even if he wasn't, even if it was just another dude out fishing.
Oh,
regardless of the tournament.
I mean, there was a Kissimmee chain tour event we were fishing, and there's this tiny little backwater pond, like in the middle of all these lily pads, and it had nice hydrilla and clean water. And we had 20 guys, 20 boats stuffed into this thing. I mean, like, we all had our single lane that we were casting at, and somehow we weren't tangling each other. I think I got my line tangled a couple times. So we're trying not to tangle each other's lines, but we're all cracking fish. Like, everybody had their limit, all 20 guys in about 5 minutes. It was insane. And then it kind of, like, I don't even know how we got around. Like, we trolling motored out of the pond if we wanted to get out. Well, 2 bobber boats came like bumper boating through all of us with their bobbers. Like, I had a bobber scraping beside my boat, and it goes down, and like a guy catches a 6-pounder in 2 feet of water underneath my boat. And we're watching him catch like 5, 7, 4, 7, just like hand over fist. And it's like, fuck. I mean, what the fuck do? You can't do anything about it. I mean, gang up on the dude? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He saw a crowd and he decided to go drop some shiners down.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's very ruthless, and I mean, hopefully, I think a majority of us are better. than that, but it only takes a few bad apples.
Mm-hmm.
And the sport's come a long ways, and it's just a pity to see things like that. And it's just hilarious. We always see it in like Florida and like the TVA.
Yeah.
It's like you don't see it anywhere else. And you can just call out those people straight up. And
Yeah,
be
but
like,
I will
"You
say I
guys
was
all
pretty
do it."
surprised at how well the pros handled it. Like you didn't see any
Yeah.
big blow ups or like people getting rowdy about it. They were just kind
No.
of taking it on the chin, which is cool to see, I guess. I mean, they shouldn't have to deal with that, but
I mean, the one thing I can say to those guys is like you're used to fishing around each other so often and fishing in small areas with people. So I guess it's easier for them to let it roll off their back rather than say like maybe a BFL guy or like a guy who doesn't have that much experience fishing in a crowd where
Mhm.
they're probably like, what the like absolute blow up about someone coming, 50 yards away from them. Where us, I mean, like you can be on a TVA ledge and you're literally bumping each other's boats sitting on the cast because that's the only cast to make. And that's just what you do. Like, and if the person you're with is comfortable with it because you both found the school, then go on in.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, other than that, Okeechobee wise, you guys have any notes? I mean, that was kind of a that was
Well-
more of a tangent on things, but that was something
Yeah.
I very vividly was like, God, we haven't seen this in a long time, and it is no bueno.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead,
You
Honor.
go. Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, the I wish Okeechobee fished worse than it did. Just for like a major wake up call for people how badly that lake is hurting right now and
Yeah.
how much better it used to be. I mean, like I was talking to Josh and I'm like, how's the swamp? He's like, not very swampy. And the first time I was there, I mean, you'd get lost. Like if you didn't have a GPS, you'd be lost out there if you went down the wrong trail. I mean, you can't see anything. Like the reeds used to be 8 to 10 feet tall, and you'd be going down boat lanes. And if you didn't have GPS, you'd be out there for days stranded. And that's just not the case anymore. There's like hardly any hydrilla, even if you're lucky to find it. I mean, the people I wish it would have fished worse and not brought positive light to Okeechobee just to showcase how bad it's doing.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
fair.
Pink, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, kind of what you were talking about before. It was kind of cool to see. I mean, that whole Steve Kennedy thing was pretty badass. To just see a guy just hucking and chucking a frog in Florida and getting it done. But
Well, and he was his giggle and laugh is the best.
He's awesome.
right, the dude just has ice in his veins, which is cool. Like, I don't think his heart rate even goes up when he hooks a big one at all. I mean, like literally.
He's just golly gee, look at this.
But I mean, what
7-pounder.
I mean, he caught what a 7 or an 8 pounder on a frog that first day was just insane.
Yeah.
But it was pretty interesting to see because the frog really doesn't play that much in Florida.
No.
And to see how many other pros started throwing a frog after that first day was pretty fucking wild.
Because they see some guy.
Well, that's the thing. Normally you don't see that massive switch though.
Yeah, I guess when like you're fishing in a crowd and the crowd is 15 people and you're 50 yards away from one another and you hear boosh, boosh, and some guy with like skirts hanging off of a bait. What is he wrong? Better tie on a frog tomorrow. Well, frog bite's been great in practice. Okay. Oh, really? Was it?
Right.
Yeah.
But that was cool. And they did have some pretty incredible fish strikes on live. I don't know if you had a chance to watch any of that.
Yeah.
That one that Revette caught that they had. I mean, the guy was like full screen.
That was great.
It was the most unreal bite, dude. Like in maybe a foot of water, that thing turned on it.
Yeah. That was excellent. That was excellent. Yeah. Where it just like gets over his head and you just see the fish turn around, come up, and he's like, oh, get it. Twitch.
It was just a big boil, dude. It was wicked. And I think he was just throwing like a weightless worm or something through there.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I was thinking about the live live image that he had with the jerkbait where the fish are you can see 10 of them underneath and the one finally just comes up. It's like the perfect live eat for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Unreal. Yeah, I guess I didn't catch that one. I'll have to go back and watch, but there was some really good footage.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Yeah, he
talking
was
about-
in
I
some
think-
like little back corner.
You're talking about Seminole, I think.
Was
Yeah, I think you're talking
Okay.
about Seminole.
Maybe I got it mixed up, but that was sick.
It looks like,
We'll get to that.
carp.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, you were thinking of Seminole. That was
I got ahead of
yeah,
myself.
Hahner.
I was excited.
I know what you're saying with the live scope thing, like that image. I think that image also showed like how hard it is to actually get them to bite.
Right. I mean, and if you didn't have that, like I was saying about live before, live is amazing, but for those, I guess, who don't have, I don't know, the know-how or like the understanding to be like, this is what I'm fishing all the time. This is how many fish are here when I'm catching good fish. If you can just put that in your mind that this is how it usually works. I'm not catching all the fish that I'm fishing for, but even if it's good fishing, if you can remember that, I guess that's how you got to do it.
Well, and it shows that even these guys that really know what they're doing, it's not just like you have live, so you're catching them.
Right. It's not. Yeah, you got to be super patient.
For sure. All right. So moving on from there, going to Seminole. My biggest, I didn't get to watch a lot of Seminole, but I thought the coolest thing, especially filming the Crappie Chronicles, was just that Joey Cifuentes won because he was like, yeah, I found these trees with a ton of crappies around them, and there's just 6 or 7 pounders that kind of show up and eat them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So
that
what
was sick.
What was the deal there? It's not because he actually found that not bass fishing, right?
No, also getting mixed up. Tyler Rivette, he found his spot crappie fishing.
Crappie fishing. That's what it was.
Yes, in on Okeechobee at the mouth of that. I think it's the Kissimmee River that comes in.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
no, it's like, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe I don't know.
So Bart, the tree thing though. So did you get like a better understanding of like what he was breaking down there?
No, I still haven't seen the spot really or anything. I just know he was fishing outside of a spawning flat for the most part, and they were
Okay.
pre-spawn, post-spawn fish, right, Cody?
I know the exact trees he was fishing, and so basically, I mean, if you've ever been on Seminole, it's my favorite lake in the South to fish by far, but it is the most scary, treacherous place in the world. I mean, the boat lanes are 3 boats wide, and if you get outside of one of those lanes, there's a stump the size of the front deck of your boat to kill you. Like if you get an inch outside of it, you're done. And where he was fishing was just a creek channel bend that led up to a flat, but that flat isn't all that big. It just leads up to another point, and then behind that point is a huge flat. But the channel breaks away from that point, sweeps up and breaks away from that point. And right in there's just some deep, good trees that are sitting down there. And I think there's a couple sand spots underneath those trees. But what what people probably don't know is I think I heard someone say that the crappies spawn on top of those trees, which is true, but people don't realize is that population of bass probably doesn't even go up to the flats, because the guy we were staying with, he's like, oh yeah, one of the best, I don't even know if I want to say it, but one of the best ways in the spawn to get away from people is throw a square barrel over 25 feet of water, because the bass are spawning on those same trees.
Yeah.
And those fish that he's probably catching aren't even going to the bank. They're probably just going to hover up into the trees and spawn.
Yeah.
Interesting. So like they have resident population of fish that are just doing that.
Yeah, I mean, like these treetops are freaking massive. Like they're like sequoia size trees. They're huge stumps, and like each tree base can be, or like a branch is like this. And if it's got like a little bit of weeds or something that sticks, their eggs to, they'll use it, because I think a lot of those fish just don't even want to. I'm sure this is on every body of water, but there's some fish that just stay out deep all year long, and the closest they get to the bank is, I mean, wherever they can get enough sun penetration to lay their eggs, and then they're going to go back out and feed.
Yeah, for sure.
I was surprised to hear some of the water. I mean, I know it's Florida, but we're sitting up here literally still sitting on ice, and they're talking about water temps in the like upper 60s, during that event.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to even think like how far ahead that is, that you'd be going down there and potentially be looking for like spawners and post spawn fish.
Right. Right. Yeah, that lake is super cool, man. Like, I mean, if they didn't even get to show really any of the backwaters. And these backwaters, dude, they look like the Wapaka chain. The first
Really?
time I went to them, it looked identical to the Wapaka chain. I'm like, where am I? I just went out from this like stumpy mess, and then I like wandered back to these little lakes and ponds and stuff, and it's crystal clear water, like coontail.
Yeah.
Like, where are we right now? It's Wisconsin or Minnesota. It looks so cool, and it's such a unique fishery. I love
How
it.
was the local traffic when you were there? I mean, it didn't look like people were dealing with that as much at Seminole, but
I mean, Bainbridge is tiny. There is nothing around Seminole. It really wasn't, I didn't even recognize it. There's hardly anybody out there.
yeah.
And I mean, Bainbridge is, I don't even know the size of the town. I could hardly find a hotel. And luckily I shacked up with someone at a buddy's house of his. That's where I stayed. But there's like 2 hotels, not even hotels, motels.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about, I mean, for like these pros, I mean, obviously they're doing it a lot. I've only had the experience to do it, you know, some of these like back-to-back events in college, but for some of these ones where, you know, you're on the road going straight to the next one, you know, they barely even get a chance to take a breath. Do you like that? I mean, how do you think that affects, especially if you had a bad tournament, like rolling right into the next one?
I was gonna say if you're fishing good, it's great. I guess even if you're fishing bad, the best thing you can do is just get right back in the water and try to shake it. I mean, the quicker you can get past that bad one without you like dwelling on it, the better. So I think it's actually a good thing, even though it's exhausting. But I think for you mentally, it's probably a good thing.
Right.
Yeah, I think like the only bad part of it is the exhaustion. Like it gets tiring, but like in terms of economically, like mentally and everything, like you're in a rhythm, you know.
Right.
You're just like I'm just going, doing my thing. Especially like that drive from Okeechobee to Seminole was what, probably 7 to 8 hours for most of those guys.
Yeah,
not terrible. So I mean, if you made the last day of Okeechobee, it kind of sucks. But like those guys also, like you saw Tyler Yvette, didn't matter. Went and cracked him again.
But they're also riding that rush from, you know, making the cut and being right there. So
exactly. So I think, I mean, I'm a big fan of back-to-back events, especially if you can do it, right? Like, and guys always say that, like when they go to New York or something, like if they can do back-to-backs, they'd rather do the back-to-backs than like an event, wait 3 weeks, an event, because otherwise guys are like, well, what do I do in between? So a full year of back-to-backs, I think would kind of suck.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that, but I think doing it every once in a while, you know, it helps, especially when it's easy. Like in that Alabama TVA region, it's like, come on, you can do back-to-back.
Yeah. I mean, I think it does, like you said, for guys that are catching them and doing well and they're making cuts, it does give you a crazy amount of momentum really fast. Like mentally just being in the game and being like, okay, and now they go to a break, you know.
Yeah, and you lose that edge.
Right.
I just think it's going to be cool for a lot of viewers. The next tournament they're going to see of the Elite Series is they're going to be in Knoxville, and it's probably going to be really tough.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's going to be a grind.
You ain't going to see. They could see some live scoping, but since Gussie cracked that open, I don't think that'll be to himself. Those fish have been probably beat up pretty good. And it's a different time of year than when they were there. It's going to be, chatterbait, square bill, praying for 5 bites, like legitimately praying.
Yep.
So it'll be cool. It'll be cool. I'm excited for that to continue. But okay, moving on. And yes, if you want to join the Bassmaster Fantasy Group, do it. We will dive into kind of a little bit of a preview when we get to the Classic, and we'll chat Knoxville. We'll do a little bit of a preview and recap for each event. This one we had to do a little bit longer since we missed last week. But now we are going to dive into one of our favorite segments. We haven't done it in a while. We need people to reach out to us with more ideas. We do have plenty of them. And unfortunately, Will's here to miss this one. I was really excited to do this one. I think we all are. But today we are going to do the weigh-in of best boat snacks.
Yeah, I like this one. And I think even though Will's not here, we're going to have to get his.
get his picks in.
Yeah, we lost Pink. Pink muted again. Pink, your Wi-Fi is awful now. Like awful.
I got it fixed.
Well, I think it is fixed, but it's fixed in the upstairs region.
Oh.
So you'll have to try that next time. Another venue.
But
Anyway, I was saying I want to hear Will's when he comes back, even though he's not here.
we can do that. Sorry, I'm writing down notes so I can make sure to remember these for the graphic.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Pretty standard.
So what's our order this time? I don't remember. What was the last one we did?
I don't even know. I don't remember what the last.
I don't remember who won it.
was.
All right, so
No,
we're gonna.
it was it Things We Hate About Winter?
I'm
Yeah,
going to it
that was
right now.
actually a really
Was
good
that
one,
really the
too.
last one?
I
Yeah.
think I won that one.
It was. That was it.
Yeah, I think Hahner won it, and I actually think I took second.
That's fine.
So-
I'll go back to back. I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
All right, so Hahner, you want to lead us off? Best boat snacks. We should also put in here. This does not include liquids.
Asterix.
Does not include Yeah, asterisk. I've never honestly known how you actually do pronounce that. Is it
Well, you don't. You
asterisk
just
or
you just
asterisk?
type it. You just put it.
Yeah,
Asterix.
Little, you know.
yeah,
I think.
that little star thing. But anyways, no liquids because those are boat beverages,
Okay.
not snacks. So we're on boat snacks. What do you
We're
got,
doing
Cody?
snacks.
All right.
Verified.
So unknowingly, I've probably consumed about 10 to 15,000 of these little morsels in my life. I currently, I don't even know what they taste like anymore. I just find that one's in my hand at some point in the day and it's gone and in my system. It is the Cliff Bar. And if you've ever been in a boat, you look underneath your compartment, you dig hard and deep, you will find one that is about a year old.
Do you have to
Guaranteed.
say the flavor, or you just go an overall Cliff Bar?
He's just
I
taking
think,
it.
Yeah, I think it's
that's
gotta be
fair.
a Cliff.
It's a great pick.
But
I mean,
okay, let's talk about it here.
Well-
Because are you talking about like white chip macadamia nut, or are you talking like brownie? Where are we at?
Well, I mean, here's where I was at when it was early on Cliff Bar stage. I went with like the double chocolate, then I went with macadamia nut. Well, then macadamia nut got too old for me. And I'm like, okay, if I eat another macadamia nut Cliff Bar, I will actually puke. I can't even look at it anymore. Then it was like going to different grocery stores trying to find different flavors. Now it's like I'm just gonna close my eyes at Quick Trip. What do we have? 2 chocolate chips and a peanut butter. All right, throw it in the basket. Good enough. It's not even the taste anymore. I've eaten
You're buying
so
them
many
on
of them.
principle at this point.
Yes, literally, because like it's the easiest thing with some calories in it that I don't have to make.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
It's a very good pick.
It's a good one.
It's a very good pick. All right. Oh shit! My first pick. I was going to be specific. I was going to take white macadamia and not Cliff Bar.
Oh,
That was going to be my 1-of-1. I know you've burned through them, Cody, but they are so good when they're in their prime. Ooh, baby. Okay, so outside of that, man, I'm gonna have to go to. I'm gonna have to go to the old tried and true beef jerky.
All right.
can't. Yep. Another. Do you make the beef jerky or are you a grab and go from the gas station?
The homemade stuff is always better, but like, let's be real here. We always have that packed up and at home and in the freezer or in the fridge, and we never remember to grab it.
Never
So,
comes.
Yeah, you get
Never
to quick.
even gets close.
No, you get to Quick Trip or Casey's or whatever your local gas station is, and you're like, man, that bag's $7.99. And you're like, well, yeah, it's probably worth it, and you grab it anyways.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the cartel that manages those prices. What
Oh
the
my gosh,
fuck?
those people people up in northern Wisconsin, they run a hell of a good money laundering gig. All right.
I mean, they were like, "Oh, you sell drugs? That's cute. Watch this."
Yeah,
Look
beef
at
jerky.
Look at my 10-year-old cow that I'm saying is fresh in a stick.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, holy shit, beef jerky prices. Yeah, like
Yeah.
my favorite. Like
Exactly.
you look at like the little Quick Trip one, and that's why I'll always get it from Quick Trip because it's like $5.49 if I remember right. It's definitely a little less, but it doesn't just gouge you.
Right.
But then like when you're at like a holiday, for example, and you look to the right and they have like the 1 pound bag, and you're like, oh, maybe I just get that a little bit better bang for my buck, and it's like $27.99.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
You're like, I'll just drink the
You-
gas. Fuck
you-
this.
You actually saved like 75 cents per like net ounce.
You technically do, but you still look at it and you're like, holy shit, like I could go get a burger, fries, and a beer and be cheaper than this.
Yes.
But
And it's the jerky when once you eat it, you're just like, I mean, it was fine.
It's fine enough. They make it just edible enough for you to be like, well, it's right there. And then you walk out and you do it again and again and again. It just, yeah. Jack Link's beef jerky.
yeah, just beef jerky in general. I think we'd all agree with that one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you gotta go
that's a
there.
good
But all right, Pink, you got one. You get to go 2 in a row. What do you got?
All right. I'm gonna roll my first pick. I'm just leading with Pop-Tarts, dude. That's an absolute staple. Staple.
My
Here's
favorite
the-
is when you don't get a full piece and you just sort of like,
Oh, when they've been crushed up in the
Yes,
compartment for a
and
couple trips and
yeah, it's like
Oh.
a wavy thing.
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
I will admittedly state here, I know I'm in the wrong because everyone loves them. I've never been a Pop-Tart guy, but I know everybody loves them. So, like, it's a very good pick because literally everybody loves them. I've just never been a Pop-Tart
Love
guy.
is a strong word. Love is a strong word.
They are economically affordable.
Correct.
They're they're there.
They are
That- they're always there.
Okay, that's a good one, Pink.
So
What
I'm taking
flavor are
that.
you going?
I'm a big strawberry guy.
I was gonna. I
Okay.
mean, is there another
Yep.
flavor you can't?
Not that
yeah.
I'm aware of.
Yeah, that's my dad's power. for out
Whenever
west.
people got those brown sugar cinnamon or those brown sugar ones or whatever, I was like, those things cannot be that good.
No, I
Uh-uh.
can't imagine they are. And then whatever the one that's just like a mystery one or whatever the hell that is.
It's like purple and pink.
yeah,
on
what the
it.
fuck?
I
And
don't
it's
know.
like-
It's got a question mark on it.
Yeah, whatever that one is solid too.
All right, what do you got for number 2?
All right, this next one is a little bit specific, but I know it's going to hit home with a few people. So
Oh shit! Don't do it.
this is another Quick Trick favorite. So I'm taking my second pick here. Now, this is very specific, so I'm just going to lay it out there. This is the old-fashioned donuts, the blueberry one in the little 6-pack box. And the key to this is that it has a nice little clear window on the top that you can lay in the sun,
Yes.
and it works as an oven to roast these donuts to perfection in the boat.
Every time you've been in my boat, you brought those.
Oh.
It's incredible.
They're
Oh.
so good. And I
it
never
works.
buy them myself,
telling
but
you.
whenever you bring them, I'm like, these are great.
They're so good. And I'm telling you that if you're not doing that, if you're putting them in the compartment, you're messing up.
Mhm.
Leave them in the goddamn sun.
Yep. You're talking about the cringly ones where it's got like, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
those ones are very good.
Those are them.
yep. The ones that you're like sitting in line and you're waiting for, you know, the third person to get up there to like register. You're like, come on, Quick Trip. It's been 10 seconds. And then it's just waiting there. And you're like, oh, I guess.
Yeah, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, we did put a pallet of them right
Yeah.
here.
They get you all the time, dude. They're like little dessert stuff. The way they set up a store where they put that all right there as you're
You gotta
checking
walk
out
through
in
the
the aisles.
aisles and you just
Golden.
You're like, no, I
No.
don't want the cinnamon rolls. I don't want it. I don't. No. Fine.
I
Like,
will
the
say
next customer.
I've gone out of my way to get the ones in the box
Yes.
for
Yeah.
that specific reason.
The oven.
Like, yeah, you could put them in a bag. Forget that.
Not the same.
Yeah.
I want the oven too.
Mhm.
Very good. Very good. Very good pick, Pink. All right. So for my second pick, I'm also going to be going with it's a regional one, a little bit more specific, brand specific. This appeared like 4 to 6 years ago and has absolutely taken over the Midwest. They now have like 5 to 6 different flavors. You can get whichever one you want, but baby, it's Dots Pretzels.
That Southwestern hits.
Those Southwestern ones are good. I like the original. Some people like the honey mustard now, but
Yeah,
all
ones
of
are
them
good.
hit.
Yes,
They
they
came
do.
out
will
with like
say-
this cinnamon one.
Well, yeah, what was that thing Luke had, dude?
I don't know. We were at this random gas station somewhere in the middle of nowhere. It was actually in the UP.
And we
were in the middle of the UP,
this.
and he walks back with a purple bag of Dots, and we're like, "Where the hell did you get that?" He's like, "I don't know. It says
Well,
cinnamon."
he was talking about it like at the cabin or on the ride there or something. I don't remember what the deal was. And then he's like telling us, and we're like, I never heard of that shit. Like, I didn't know they even had that flavor or whatever. He's like, no, I'm serious. We're like, yeah, okay, whatever. We walk into this gas station and they have one bag and it is sitting prominently right on the counter right when we walk in. And we're like, no shit.
Dude,
He's
and
like, I have
you,
to buy them.
This was not like a Holiday or Quick Trip or anything.
No.
We were in the north end of
random.
Gogebic, whatever town that is. I don't know. There's like a gas station with 2 pumps, and one of them has a bag over it. Like, and they had it, but
And they had one bag.
Either way, I have to roll with Dots Pretzels. I think one of the smartest things they ever did, because their giant bag's fairly expensive. It's like $7, and you're guaranteed to eat the whole thing the moment you open it. Is they came out with those little ones. You can get the little ones for like $3 or $4.99, and they're the perfect amount. And I'll get them every time. I love Dots Pretzels. They're so good.
The big bag is perfect amount because you
You
just
leave it in the boat all week.
You're like,
or you just eat the whole thing as you're
and
scanning.
then in 30 minutes of scanning, it's gone.
I was gonna say that seems like a very good like side imaging snack.
Yes. Leave it between your feet and just keep.
Yep.
That is 100% for those ledge graphers out there.
Yeah.
Get yourself a bag of Dots Pretzels, put it in the cup holder next to you. They even make it nice and convenient. It's tall and slender.
Yes.
Not wide, so you can just stick it right in the cup holder.
They know what they're doing.
Dots. All right, Cody.
All right, so this is kind of specific, and I do want both parts of these included. So,
how many favors are you trying to pull here?
I'll do whatever I need to. My classic, I would say my favorite boat snack is a peanut butter sandwich, but like I always do.
The butt's gonna get me.
You forget the knife every single time. You got to find yourself a Colorado or a Willow. Get that thing done and on a piece of bread. Peanut butter sandwich with a blade as a spoon or a knife.
That picture you posted at some point too.
Yeah. All of a sudden that started I started seeing more of that. I'm like, what the?
You're like, no.
I'm like, no, this is me. This is my thing.
Did you? I don't know if you ever seen that, Bart.
I've absolutely used it for that, and I've 100% eaten yogurt with a DT20 lip before.
Oh,
yeah.
Just like, no. I'm like, I got my ledge crankbaits. I'm just sitting there, just don't grab the hook.
I like those Greek yogurts with like the tin lid to it, and you forget the spoon,
You
so
just
you
kind
like
of taco it up.
You taco it up, and then you eat it. Well, they're sharp, so it's like at least.
And then you get that like metallic taste.
Ow, ow.
You're like, what the fuck?
You're like, well, I'm only halfway done.
And then you're just kind of like tongue scooping it.
Yeah. Yep. And then it's all over your hands because that didn't really work that well, but they're like, couldn't think of anything better.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. That's a good one, Hahner. That's a good one. I've seen plenty of Snapchats from you of a willow leaf or a Colorado blade and peanut butter just getting smeared around
everywhere.
Blade and J.
What's All
right, what's number 3?
Is this for me?
Yeah, you're back up.
Okay, here's a more distinguished snack. I'm gonna say because I would never do this or even think of bringing this along, but I'm appreciative when someone does, including my couple of good muskie friends. Smoked salmon.
Ooh, nice.
Smoked salmon in the boat. Man, the first time I had it, I'm like, I don't know. That's been like on the floor for a while. Like, no, dude, it tastes great.
Dude,
Tastes
you're like,
great.
and in your head, you're like, that's a dip my grandma put out at Christmas that I always go by.
I'm like, I don't know. Take a little spackle off that from up in Algoma. Some guy, smokes it for like $2 every fish. Damn.
Yeah,
That shit bussing. Yeah, that's my practical one.
All right. I actually cannot believe this one lasted this far, so I'm just gonna take it. And sorry to my peanut allergy friends, but a Snickers. Like,
Ooh.
who doesn't grab a Snickers and just throw it in their live well? And the best
Yeah.
part is when you forget about it, and then you're like, man, I'm out of snacks the next day, and you open it and you're like, holy shit, I'm
I'm
Hey,
rich.
that's a good tip for people out there that don't know. If you take the stuff that normally melts and you put it in there, it doesn't melt.
That's a good tip.
Put it in your cooler.
Hot take, Ryan.
People talk shit. They're like, "Oh, you're bringing chocolates?" Like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever bought ice? Like, you talk to most Elite Series pros or FLW pros, and they literally have an ice budget that they budget out for the year. Like, I was talking to Carl. I'll never remember. We were going through budgeting for the year, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm $8,000 in ice a year." I'm like, what?
That's good.
But yeah, Snickers. I don't.
Yep. Satisfies.
Beloved candy bar all the
Big
way around.
Snickers guy,
It's
eh?
always a good one. Yeah.
If
And
I'm
I
gonna
actually
reach for
love
a candy, that's gonna be
Well,
the
and
one.
here's the thing too. My personal favorite thing with them is I always forget about it until I'm sitting in my boat and my co-angler's back in the boat end or the trailer end to get off for the day, and I'm like, oh my god, that's right, I have a Snickers. So I'm just sitting there waiting for him. Just
Yeah,
just
you're like
munching out.
dying of hunger.
That's a hearty
Eat
candy
your-
bar, boy.
It is. It's a good one. All right, Pink, what do you got?
All right. I'm this is my last two, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you got your last two.
Okay. So I'm taking the venison summer sausage here.
That's a very good one.
Yeah.
That's locking that one in.
It didn't feel fair for me to take that because I don't hunt. I do love it whenever someone brings it. Like, someone brings it in my boat, and I'm like, you're my best friend.
Yeah.
Especially if they bring a block of cheese.
That too. Yeah. I try to stay stocked up, make
So-
a big batch before open water. But
I'm just writing down venison summer sausage, or what am I writing down?
yeah.
Okay.
That'd be the
That's
exact
the one.
definition of it.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't more details. Cody made me write peanut butter sandwich made with spinnerbait blade.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's what it is.
That is the sandwich that I make.
That's what it says on the menu anyway.
Asterisk, not responsible for tetanus shot.
Yeah, right.
Okay, sorry. Anyways, Pink, back venison summer sausage slam dunk. Can't
Yeah.
believe he got that in the third round.
Yeah, I can't either. I'm shocked. And then I got to take a sweet one to finish it off here. And I've always been one good for one of these, so I'll take the Swedish fish on the back end here.
Ooh, that's a good one.
There you go. I see that. I just can't. You know what? That's like Sour Patch Kids. I almost don't even like. I don't even eat them. I don't even chew them. There's something with my like. I just gotta like let it evaporate. I hate the feeling of gunky in my teeth so often.
So you just gotta let them dissolve.
Yeah, I'm like fighting it after I ate it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Tastes
I'm
great.
all for tearing down some Swedes.
That is
see that in you.
Yeah. Thanks, Hahner. Thank you.
Welcome. No problem.
What'd they ever do to you? Okay, so for my last pick, man, this is kind of tough down here, to be honest. I'm gonna take a chip, and specifically, I'm going to take cheddar sour cream.
Really? Okay.
Really?
Love them. They're my favorite.
Okay.
You talking Ruffles?
Yeah, I think it's the Ruffles ones. Yeah, the one that's blue with white packaging. That's
Yep,
the one.
that's Ruffles.
It's like
that's the one.
99
crinkle-
cents or 129.
the
Yeah, it's got the
crinkle chip.
crinkle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, Ruffles. I know more about your favorite food than you do.
That's a decent pick. I just always feel like if I'm going chips, it always ends up on the kettle side of things in the boat.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm a big
know?
See, here's the thing.
salt
I've
and
just
vinegar.
always had.
Ooh.
What?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
fucking hate salt and vinegar chips.
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. Ask
They're
Ryan.
awful.
Ask Ryan right now.
All right,
But-
Ruffles. We'll talk later.
I just love cheddar sour cream. They're good. But I'll eat whatever chips anyone gives me except salt and vinegar. I hate.
Well, I
salt
guess
and
I know
vinegar
what I'll
chips.
buy next time I come out. Jesus.
Ryan.
Half the
Ryan
time I
can-
don't even eat the snacks until I get in the truck and I'm driving home.
And then
We
you just demolish them.
Yeah, and then I don't need to stop at Taco Bell. I just eat all the snacks. On the
Oh
way
yeah,
home.
because you're driving past that.
If you knew how many times I stopped at the Baxter or St. Cloud Taco Bell, you would be impressed.
Wow, that seemed like it escalated.
Okay, but yeah, Ruffles cheddar sour cream. Hahner, bring us home. Then we'll go honorable mentions.
God damn it, Ryan. Okay, this is another quick tripper one, and I used to do this a lot in college, especially because we were just hung over as shit most of the time, and it was either like 3 bangs that I would bring with me, and then maybe a jug of water. But then I'm looking for the cheapest, biggest grossest breakfast sandwich I can find at Quick Trip, and it is the Quick Trip Western Bagel sandwich.
That's
And
a good one.
my favorite is my appetite was so big, but I'd eat about half of it, like roll it in the wrapper, throw it in a compartment, and it was a fun surprise about 4 months later. Believe it or not, that egg does not go bad on those sandwiches,
Which is nice.
which is a plus. The bread, yes, takes a toll, but the egg, I don't know.
That's a surprising pick because I feel like out of all the Quick Trip breakfast items, that is my least favorite one.
Well, you're wrong.
He
The
demolished.
sausage,
Okay,
egg, and cheese croissant would say otherwise.
I was looking for in my mind at those times, because I am not driving where we're going that morning. I'm looking at for like something big, like bagel. Yeah, I need bread. I'm thinking something bread, and if there's a little bit of meat or egg in it, good to go. Good to go. Yep.
All right, I could see it. I mean, if you're looking, yeah.
That is the only reasoning.
Looking.
We're not looking for taste.
Soak up a little juice. Yeah. I can see
Yeah,
it.
true.
Yep.
All right, we got any honorable mentions?
Man, I feel like I dug pretty deep there.
Yeah.
I didn't
eat
know
a
if this
lot.
counted as a snack, but it's what I do when I am hungry and I'm like, I don't really want to eat right now. Copenhagen.
I guess that would yes.
I mean, I don't know if I'd
Oh,
be like it's a snack, but
Man.
And that's the thing.
damn
That's
it.
why I didn't. That's why I didn't pick it, because I don't think it's technically a snack. But like every
totally
time
snack.
at 11 in a tournament, and I'm like, God, I'm getting hungry. I'm like, well, time to throw the lipper in.
Yes.
And I
Mar-
know every bass tournament guy
Oh,
does the
oh my
exact
God.
same thing.
Ryan, do you remember what Mark and I used to do? We would
What you-
buy tubs of Stokers, because
I
it
do
was
recall seeing
$20
those.
of tub. we would rally chew the entire tournament because we're probably doing bad. And
I want to say because I remember like seeing this in like the center, like what are they? The little between the seats in that because you had that legend.
yes,
It was just like a designated spot for this fucking bucket.
It's literally a bucket. It's a bucket of chew. And we'd go through two of those in a few days. Madmen.
my
And it was
God.
just,
Savage times.
oh my God.
Just a
His
baseball.
stomach is just hurting.
Yeah.
Hurting. And then you got Mark peer pressure around my corner. He's like, gotta do it. you gotta do it, rally chew. Don't be a
He's just like-
bitch. I'm like,
Don't be
"Oh."
a bitch.
I'm like, dude, I think I'm actually gonna puke from this. He's like, it's not. I'm like, I know, the first few it tastes pretty decent, but not like 65th today.
Meanwhile, he's got 4 fish banging around in a live well full of empty cans from the night before.
We just cracked that one going to the college weigh-in.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that was good times, dude.
But yeah.
Fuck.
Okay. Honorable mention. Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Was that an ad read?
Yeah.
That what just happened?
I would love that. My girlfriend would not. But other than that, the only other one I had that I did enjoy, but I didn't want to take the leap to go there because I didn't know it wouldn't do well on the graphic, but it's very practical. Dude, a Rice Krispie.
A Rice Krispie.
They're
That's
really
so low
good.
on my list of priorities.
I
dude.
Because-
can't tell you the last time I've had a Rice
Like, are you
Krispie.
talking
Dude.
about that one that's like from the grocery store that's like this fucking big? The sheet.
Well, you don't need one that big, but you can just get a little bar or whatever, or like the homemade ones. They're really good to boat, especially because you throw them in your cooler. They don't melt at all. And they're just, I don't know, they're just like sweet and they're a nice little snack in the day. And they're pretty filling, actually. Carl, when I was with Carl, he actually had them a lot. He ate them a lot. He was like, yeah, sugar. And I don't know. I didn't know his reasoning, but he's a fit freak. So I was like, okay. But they were very good. I liked them.
Must have been the only treat back in Toowoomba or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Remind you of home.
They used to airdrop these in, dude.
Super good. Rice Krispie bars. Snap, crackle, and pop came flying out of the clouds.
Holy shit. Oh, that's good. Dude, I feel like we got a good list here. I will say, though, if I'm in a boat, I almost prefer other people's snacks to mine.
Yes.
Oh yeah, my snack.
That
Even
actually,
if I brought everything on that list.
God damn it. That should have been my last or first pick. That would have been so
The
great
other
on
guy's
the graphic. Just the co-angler snacks.
Yeah.
The other person's snacks.
They just seem to hit different, you know?
Well, yeah, all of a sudden, like, I would never buy sprees. We're fishing this weekend. Griff's like, you ever had sprees? I'm like, no, but they're
And
delicious.
we throttled like the fucking like event size bag. Did you even know they came in a bag?
No, I had no idea.
I thought they were just a little stick.
Yeah. He had a giant bag of them. He's like, you want a spree? I'm like, absolutely.
He's just like pouring them out.
I had
Oh my
I ate
God.
a co-angler one time. Speaking of other people's snacks, I mean, we're fishing a tour event, and the guy is sitting down having his lunch. I'm like, what in the fuck are you doing? Having lunch? Lunch is not a thing. And I like go to the back of the boat on my Cohen or something, and he's eating, a container of egg salads, like egg salad.
Come on.
I am not joking. And he goes, "Do you want a little bit?" And egg salad is the most disgusting thing to me. Like the
Especially
mayo
when
smacking,
it's warm.
and it's warm out. He's like, "You want some?" I'm like, there is nothing in this world that I want less than that hot. I can't believe if I knew that was in the boat. If I knew that was in the boat while you were parking the truck, that would have been tossed out. That would have been gone. That is disgusting.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Old Southern boy.
So you taking that for your last pick then? The warm egg salads.
Well, don't worry. We'll do one
Holy
eventually
shit.
that'll be worse boat snacks.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I guess that's my last one. I can't think of any. Or nothing. Or I just don't eat anything. And then I realize
What's your best boat snack? Nothing.
nothing.
Like I said, Copenhagen.
Water and chew. That's and bang or rain or something. That's it.
Yeah.
So do you put them all in one compartment or do you spread them out?
Well, I normally have them in a bag, and then I just throw the bag into the bottom of the boat. And I normally have so much shit on the bottom of the boat, like baits and other bags and stuff, that like I'll find like a rain smashed, like wedged into the hot foot, like I've had this in
Behind it?
tournament more. Yeah, behind it.
Yeah.
I've had this in tournament morning one time. I felt something back there, and I'm like, in 099, Cody Hahner, Martha, Wisconsin. And I'm like, I'm like, what the fuck? Push it down as hard as I can, smash a rain everywhere in the bottom of the boat, and just keep going. Like,
That's incredible.
nobody got time for this.
Okay, all right. So that's our list. And people, if you're new to this podcast or whatever with our weigh-in segments, we always post a graphic on social media later in the week after it goes live. Go vote there, interact with us, and tell us who you think won. Yeah, we do still need to come up with like a winner loser or something, but we just enjoy doing them. So give us tasks for that too. We'll come up with a winner loser eventually. We also need to finalize the winner loser for fantasy fishing. But yeah, other than that, anyone got anything else they want to touch on?
I don't think so. I've been doing really anything else, man. I did go. Hey, just throwing this out there. I did go to that pheasant and quail show. They had like it's kind of like a big expo. They did it in Minneapolis like a week ago or something. It was pretty badass, dude. I've been to it one time before, but if you ever have a chance to go to one like any show like that, do it because it was really cool to see a lot. Like they have a lot of cool vendors and stuff. It was mainly like a lot of it's dog training and stuff, but now is the time of year where they do all those shows. Like I know the muskie shows are in full swing right now, so if you get a chance to go to any of those, do it.
Yeah, Wausau Muskie Expo is coming up pretty quick, as well as the Minnesota. I think Minnesota is actually before Wausau this year.
It's like the second week of March.
I think the Northwest Sports Show might be this weekend.
Is it?
It might be.
Okay.
I haven't been to it in forever, but yeah.
No, I think you're right, Hunter. I think that the muskie show here is like in maybe a week and a half. It's like mid-March.
Yeah, and it's getting to be a pretty big one, right? I guess one of the more popular ones. So it's usually a good time.
Sick.
Well, alrighty. Anyways, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're gonna start making a absentee tally for Mr. Stolski. Been absent, missing out.
He's fishing though, so it's all good.
Yeah, fair enough. Go light him up on socials a little bit. We need to tell him a code word. Like we need a few people randomly to just like slide into his comments and comment like something weird. And they'll be like, "What is this?" and just kind of mess with him for a while. That'd be good. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Thank you for listening to another episode of Past The Barb.